The geophysics are overlaying our geochem in the right places, and the geologists are very excited. And when I get around, my only claim to fame in this business is tying myself to very smart people in the economic geological field. Peter McGaw, Dan McGinnis, Rui Fang, Dan McNeil, Alan Wainwright. And these guys are looking at, and when they get this excited, we should come to market with some pretty good numbers.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Gordon Neal, the CEO of Domestic Metals. Gordon, very good to speak with you. What have you learned at Spire Creek since acquiring the project, and how has that shaped these drill targets?
Well, thanks for having me. We are very excited about what's going on at Spire Creek. It's reminiscent to me of my Mag Silver days when we are looking at a major discovery hopefully in our maiden drill program. What we've learned really though is Rio Tinto drilled a hole at hole 22 in 2022 of 109 meters of 0.75% copper. That is significant. That's their best hole, but it's not in the center of mineralization. But I'll get back to that in a minute. But after that, since we picked it up and acquired it, we've actually done geophysics and geochem, and all of that has come back with screaming results, right? I mean, that's what excites us about this. And what we've learned is the geochemistry and the geophysics overlay each other. They're in the right places. We know that hole 22 that I just mentioned was distal to the center of mineralization, center of a porphyry mineralization. It's not really a porphyry structure, but it is mineralized with copper, obviously at 0.75. So what we've learned is by taking the data that's been given to us by not only Rio Tinto, but the four people who did work before them, is that we can vector toward, it looks like we're vectoring toward the center of mineralization.
You're about to drill 9,000 meters across some very compelling targets. What are you hoping to discover?
Well, as I just said, we're hoping to discover the center of mineralization. Those numbers that the geophysics and the geochem that I just talked about, I mean, the geochem, the sampling that we did in 2025 was 102 grams per ton gold, was our best gold hit, 3,800 grams per ton silver, and 28% copper. I mean, those are numbers. I've been doing this for 35 years. Those kind of surface samples don't come up very often, and they are indications that you're dealing with a very high grade source. So yeah, what we're hoping to do is actually the goal here is to use the 15 years of drilling that's been done over the last 15 years and vector us toward the center of mineralization, which we believe the porphyry center's most likely in the Sunrise mine area, but we are going to drill at Smart Creek because there is significant mineralization there.
You mentioned that Rio Tinto hole 22, and although that wasn't at the center of mineralization, how important is that historical result in guiding your current program?
It's very important because Peter McGaw, myself, and Dan McNeil were on the project a month or so ago, and we actually looked at hole 22. And this is not to denigrate Rio and its work. Rio drilled that hole 22, but they drilled a vertical hole. And what we saw, particularly my geologist, was that it's a dipping structure there. And it's not really, in our estimation and in my experience, a great idea to drill a dipping structure vertically, because if you hit it in the wrong spot, you're not getting a true width of its mineralization. So we're going to go back in there and we're going to drill it the right way. So you've got, if it's dipping to the west, say, and I'm probably doing the opposite because I'm on camera, you really want to drill it this way. You want to drill across it to get the full extent of the mineralized zone there. If it's dipping this way and you drill at the bottom, you're not going to get the full extent of it. You're only going to get a part of it. So we're going to go back in there, particularly with 0.75% copper and 109 meters, and hopefully fill that out so the market can see that we actually are in the zone that we're looking at. And in fact, at hole 22, I'm picking up this rock that Peter picked up off the ground, and he said to me, "Gord, this is a hydrothermal copper vein." And he said he estimated that there was 12% copper in this. We tested it internally, and it came out at 38% copper. I mean, it's the place, every time we test it geochemically, it lights up for kilometers. In some places, 2.5 kilometers. So the geophysics are overlaying our geochem in the right places. And the geologists are very excited. When I get around, my only claim to fame in this business is tying myself to very smart people in the economic geological field. Peter McGaw, Dan McGinnis, Rui Fang, Dan McNeil, Alan Wainwright. And these guys are looking at, and when they get this excited, we should come to market with some pretty good numbers.
Okay, so with drilling starting later this month, results expected within weeks, what's the key milestones investors should watch out for?
Well, the key milestone is really going to be when we start pulling the core, and we're fully permitted. It was very difficult to find a drill. I mean, man, the money coming that came in late last year into the resource sector, the junior resource sector. I got my permits, but man, it was really hard to find a drill. I found a good drill and a good drill crew. We will start in 10 days. And what the public should look forward to is if we pull some significant mineralized core that's telling us a lot, I'll most likely I will put that out to we'll put that out to the public to show them what it looks like in advance of what we think the assays would be. But the assays, I expected assays because of the difficulty finding a drill. I expect the labs to be backed up 6 to 8 weeks, but I'm being told their turnaround time is 3 to 4 weeks. So, if we start drilling in the end of August here, and if we start pulling core in the middle of September, I should start getting assays back, or mid-October at the latest, and we'll see the core before that. And if we see something interesting, we're going to let people know so we can get them ready for what's coming. Because I'm telling you, it's very unusual for me to see this much excitement from my geological crew.
I'm sure we're going to be chatting again very soon, Gordon. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me. We'll see you again soon with some great news.
Hopefully, Gordon Neal, the CEO of Domestic Metals.